Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to
Date Night Dialogues
with Tag
and Paige. So tonight is going to be fun. We're going to be sharing with you each of our own versions of our favorite story of
when we first met.
How we met.
How we met, our first date.
So let's hear what Tag's version of how we met is.
So we're going to do it separately or is it together?
Yeah, we're doing it separately. Your version and my version.
And then we can compare notes at the end. People can listen to both and see who had what details.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I guess we'll excuse Paige while I get started. Thanks, Paige. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm not sure where to start. I guess I'll start back when... So I got back from my mission, and I went to college at BYU in January of '94. And so I was dating a lot. I dated a lot of different girls, and you know, just trying to keep my eyes peeled for the right person. But man, just nothing was clicking. And I was expecting that it would it would be a little bit more clear about someone that just kind of catches my eye. But everybody that I dated, they seemed like they were okay, like they were nice, they were good looking, but there just wasn't any spark or any, I don't know, it wasn't exciting. And I just kind of felt like, all right, I wonder how this works. Like, is it going to come along where somebody that's just going to be really clear, like a lightning strike, and I'm going to meet the right person for me? Or is it just going to be kind of like, pick in from any one of these women. They're all good. They would make a good wife and stuff like that. So I'm going along through my life, and I'm about like in April. I'm living in Liberty Square. I have an apartment. We've got the pool there, the basketball court, and a great ward of singles. You know, young men, young women. Liberty Square is all singles. And I remember one time I was kind of walking through the parking lot at Liberty Square. If you ever go there, there's like a basketball court connected to this parking lot. You're walking there, and this car drives up, and it's just jam-packed full of stuff, clothes, books, stuff. And the car pulls up and stops, and this girl gets out, and I just thought, you know what, maybe she could use a hand. Looks like she's just ready to move in. So I asked her if she needs help, and she said, yep, I just drove up, I'm moving in right now. I could use some help carrying in all my stuff. So I start helping her, carrying her stuff, and when we got to her apartment, I noticed another girl in her apartment, one of her roommates, that really caught my eye. And she went, wow, she's pretty dang cute. And this apartment that we were moving into just happened to be in my ward. So I knew that this apartment of these women was going to be in my ward. So we start the spring term. It's about May. And we're going along, and my calling in the ward is to be a family home evening group leader. And all this means is I need to arrange some sort of family home evening for a group of 12 to 15 people, and just kind of some sort of fun activity with a lesson and a game and a treat or something like that. So this one time I organized this little Bull River Regatta, kind of like what I grew up with in Bull River, except it was just in this little park between Liberty Square and the campus. I don't think the park exists anymore. It's been replaced by some buildings. But it was just right at the bottom of this hill on the south side of BYU campus. And there was this little park with a pond and a big tree and this little fountain, like this spring that came out of the side of the hill with this little tiny river that wound down through some little rocks and then some little waterfalls and stuff like that, and ended up going into this pond under a little footbridge and so on. And so I just thought it would be fun to make a little regatta. So make a little boat race. Everyone brought some little boats, and I do little signs, about like the fall of Adam and the straight and narrow path and the mists of darkness, and little signs next to the river to symbolize different lessons from the scriptures and stuff. Anyway, it was kind of cheesy. So we did the race, and I remember Paige came to that, but I didn't really notice her because I was dating somebody else at the time. And so I didn't really pay much attention to her, but I remember that's the first time I really saw her again after the first time I helped her roommate move into her apartment. So anyway, life went on. For the summer term, I decided to save a little money on rent. So for June and July, I decided to move home, move out of my apartment, save a little bit of money on rent, and get ready to move back in August when school started up. So I took 2 months off. I was living at home, and one day the phone rang, and this girl said, "Hi, my name's Paige Price, and I have some tickets to a concert. I'd like to have you come." And I was thinking, man, this is awesome. For once. I mean, I've been dating so many girls, and I'm doing all the work. I'm asking all the girls, planning the date, paying for it. And for once in a lifetime, someone actually calls me up and asks me out on a date. And I was like so excited. This is great. So, I of course I said yes, and then I hung up the phone. I remembered that we had something cool planned with some of my friends from either the apartment or from high school, because I was home, and we were gonna do something fun that Saturday night. And I just didn't even care what we had planned. I just called and said, "Guys, I got to cancel. I got a date." And anyway, so I went on this date with Paige. And honestly, when she called me up, I couldn't even remember what she looked like. She said, "My name's Paige Price," but it had been, a little while. By now we're like towards the end of June. And so it had been a while since down there, and I was trying to remember Paige Price. Which one was she? Anyway, so I accepted the date even though I couldn't remember. So I drove down there. This is Saturday, June 26, 1994. Remember the date exactly. And I'm driving the Volvo station wagon, the silver station wagon. And I drive it all the way down to Provo from my home in Highland, and drive up to her apartment. And I'd planned to get there early a little bit because I didn't want to be late, but there was no traffic, and I ended up getting there quite a bit sooner than I had expected. And I'm thinking, well, I could just sit here in the parking lot and wait, for the scheduled time, or I could just go up to her apartment. And meanwhile, let me tell you a little bit. So I mentioned I was dating other girls. So I had been dating a girl, probably the most steady dating that I had done since I got back from my mission. And we'd gone out a lot, and it was starting to kind of warm up, but I could just tell there was just no spark there. And it kind of got to this point where we either needed to kind of get more serious or break up, because we'd been dating for a while and it wasn't going anywhere. She was trying to get me to kiss her, and I just wasn't going to kiss her unless I felt like we were going to be together for a while. But I could just tell we were going to break up eventually, so why lead her on or get all emotionally involved if it's just going to make it more painful later. Like, she would stand at the door and say, "Don't be a stranger," like enticing me, and then I was like, "No." So I just pretended like I was clueless. Anyway, so I had been dating her for a long time, and I was more excited about this first date with Paige than I had been about any of the dates with this other girl, whether it was the first date or any other date. I was more excited already. So I went up with Paige, and I thought to myself, I need to plan a really fun follow-up date. I always tried to do different dates, never dinner and a movie. That was so lame. Just fun, something different, something unique. So I found out that the city of Orem was having their Little League Baseball Championship on the next Monday after my first date with Paige. And I thought it'd be fun just to kind of go sit in the stands, even though we didn't know any of the boys, and watch them play baseball and get some hot dogs and a slushie and some popcorn and just chit chat while we watch these kids and all of the parents scream their guts out, and it'd be kind of fun. So I had this backup date for Monday, and my plan was, if my date went well with Paige, then at the end of the date I was going to ask her on this follow-up date to Monday, to thank her because she did all the work to ask me out, to reciprocate. But if it went bad, then I was going to go back and ask this other girl that I had been dating steadily for a while. So when I say steady, it wasn't like exclusive, but multiple subsequent dates. Anyway, so I pick up Paige, and I was there early. She's still packing the picnic basket. We're gonna eat outside, go to an outdoor concert. And thinking, I was just marveling at how beautiful she was. I was like really stricken by. I was like, wow, she's pretty cute. Like, I was already getting more excited to date her than anybody. So anyway, so I'm just like getting pretty excited. We get the picnic basket, and we walk out of her apartment towards the Volvo, and my mind's kind of going blank. I come up with something interesting to say, and before we even get to the Volvo, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Hey, I have an idea for a follow-up date, Monday, Little League baseball game. Would you like to go on a date?" And inside I'm thinking, what am I doing? I was supposed to save it till the end of the date, but I just was so excited to go on another date with her already that I already asked her out. And it was fun because it kind of took a lot of the edge or the uneasiness out of the first date, because we already knew we had a follow-up date. It just helped us all relax a little bit, and knowing that this wasn't a once in a lifetime, one shot, one shot deal. So that's kind of set the tone a little bit. So we went on the date. We drove over to Paige's friends, Mickalene Conover and her husband, and they drove, and Paige and I sat in the back seat. We went to this outdoor concert, and it was rockapella, and it was an a cappella group. They sing "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego" and some other cool songs, and we just kind of sat outside at the Sarah Shell Theater in Orem and had a picnic dinner on the grass and just watched this concert. It was really, really fun. And I remember the other guy in the double date, they were married, and he was really busy with schoolwork. And again, like, we're in June, so I don't know where we are in the school semester. I guess maybe the end of the spring term, I don't know. But anyways, so he's getting ready for finals, and he's studying his guts out. So he's kind of in another world. So it's a 2-on-1 date. And these two girls, Paige and Mickalene, are basically getting to know me, but it's on the verge of interrogation. And so they're asking me all about my life and what I like to do and where I went on my mission and all these different things about my family and stuff like that. And they keep looking at each other like, oh, and it was just so cheesy. And finally, Mickalene's like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Paige, would you like to come with me? And I just knew that they were going to go in the bathroom and they were going to talk about me. So anyway, I'm just enduring it. So I'm sitting there, and they come back, and anyway, we had a great first date. And so the concert's over, we finish our dinner, and we go back and get in the car, and we start driving back to the Conover's house so that we can get our Volvo. And I see Paige, and she's sitting there with her hands on her knees, and we're in the back seat, and I just went for it. So I reached over with my left hand, and I grabbed her hand and put my hand kind of on her knee and hold her hand a little bit, and she kind of squeezed back, and she got her, so I was holding her right hand with my left hand, and so she reaches over with her other hand and kind of puts it on top of mine. So now she's holding my hand with both of her hands. And I just knew that we were off to something right there. So that was our first date. It was really exciting, and anyway, that was Saturday, June 26th, 1994. We found a way to get together after church on Sunday, and then we went on the date, and we'll probably talk about that at a future podcast. But that was our first date, and it was more exciting than any of the dates I'd ever been on up to that point, and it was the beginning of something special. So I don't know how that compares to Paige's version, but that's my version of how we met and our first date. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, so I am super excited to share this story because it is one of my favorite stories in my life. I'm just going to talk about how I met my beautiful husband, my wonderful husband. But first of all, I'm going to start with when I was serving my mission. So I was on my mission in Anaheim, California, and it was my very last area on my mission. And I found out I was going to be a trainer for my last transfer. And my greenie came straight from BYU, and she was just great. And she said, we were talking about BYU, and she said, oh yeah, I lived at Liberty Square, and let me tell you, that is where all of the cute boys live. And I just remember thinking, okay, that doesn't make sense. Like, how can a place be where all the cute boys live? I just kind of rolled my eyes inside my head, and that was that. And we had a great transfer, and it was really fun. And then after my mission, I was going to go to BYU and live with my friend Laura, who just got home from her mission, and we had planned to live together at University Villa, and we were excited about that. So we got there, and Laura literally got engaged really quickly, like a month after we were there. She was engaged. So it was kind of a weird time in my life after that, because my friend was engaged, so she was busy, and I just kind of had this feeling like I'm in the wrong place. This is not, I'm not in the right place. Because I felt, anyway, something felt off. So I went to the temple and I was praying about it. And I was just telling Heavenly Father, like, I really wanted to meet my husband. Like, I wanted to move on to the next stage of life. I just wanted to find the right guy. And as I was praying about it, this thought came to me, and it said, "Move to Liberty Square. That is where all the cute boys live." Which cracked me up because I thought it was just the silliest thing, but I was desperate at that point, so I'm like, I am moving to Liberty Square. And so that's where I decided to move to. And my sister Bethany and my other best friend Mary were getting home from their missions, and so we all decided to live together at Liberty Square. And it was awesome. So I moved to Liberty Square, and when I was there, I met a new friend, and she invited me to go to her family night activity. And I wasn't doing anything, so I went along with her. And we just went up to this park up on campus, and there's a little stream that has, water flowing down. And this guy, was the family home evening dad. He had organized activity where everybody is supposed to find a little boat, whether it's like a stick or a leaf or a twig or something, and we were going to have like a little race down this little stream, and whoever won got a prize. And he had it so organized and so cute. He had little signs at different points, like the fall of man and temptations or things like that on the race, and I thought it was so adorable and just so creative. Well, this man was Tag, this guy. He was so dang cute. And so on our way home, my friend said to me she had a big crush on him, and she had a thing for him. So to me, that was calling him out, like, okay, he is now hers because she already claimed him. And so I just let that go. And after a few months, he was in our ward, I could see that he was not interested in her and things weren't going anywhere, even though she liked him. So I figured, well, he's free game at this point. So I was working at New Skin, and while we worked, me and my friend Mick, we would try to win prizes on the radio. That was kind of our fun thing that we would do while we were working. And we did win a prize. We won tickets to a cappella concert at the Sierra Shell Theater. And so it was 4 tickets. And so Mick and I planned. Mick was married, and she and her husband and me and whoever I asked out on a date, we're going to do this double date and go to this concert, and it was going to be fun. Well, I was dating a guy at the time, but he just seemed to, I don't know, I just didn't think he would have fun at an a cappella concert, but I really wanted to ask out Tag Barron. And but I wasn't sure if I should, because honestly I could see he was actually dating someone else in the ward. And I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I told her, well, I won these tickets and I really want to ask someone out, but I'm pretty sure he's dating someone in the ward. And my mom said, well, does she have a ring on her finger? And no, she doesn't. Well, then ask him. So it took some guts, but I called him up out of the blue and I asked him out. And he accepted, so it was really fun. So Mick and I planned a picnic, and we had a blanket, and we the 4 of us went to the rockapella concert. And while we were at the concert, Tag was so cute. Like, okay, Paul, who's Mick's husband, was kind of off in the corner studying, sort of interviewing him, asking him all kinds of questions, and it was cute. And then during the intermission, Mick said, well, I need to go to the bathroom. Paige, do you want to come with me? And so I said, yeah, let's go. And as we were walking, Mick's like, Paige, it is happening. It was so hilarious. And I'm like, I know. So cheesy as it may sound, it's true. It's like, I don't know. I just knew it was the right thing from our first date. And on the way home, he held my hand, and it was really fun. So it was amazing, and from there on out, we have been crazy about each other ever since. And he is just a wonderful, wonderful husband. He's supported me through the years. He loves my ideas, which is amazing, because I come up with some crazy ideas, but he always gets behind my ideas, and he is just a dream come true. Honestly, he spoils me so bad, but I love it so much. It's so fun. I'm crazy about him. I just think he is the most wonderful man in the entire world, and I'm just so blessed to be married to him. So that's our story about how we met and our very first date. I love you, Tag.